Hi everyone, in this video I'll show you 3 ways to delay functions in Unity, like for example do something after a certain amount of time has passed. We will use as an example an enemy spawner which will spawn enemies after a certain amount of time has passed or every few seconds. One way of doing it is by using a script and measuring time in the update function. It works by adding up each frame's delta time, which represents the duration in seconds taken to process the previous frame. With this approach, we compare the current elapsed time and the specified delay value. Then, if enough time has passed, the function will be called. However, if we leave it like this, the script will endlessly call the function. So in order to avoid it, we can wrap our code in an if condition and use a boolean to set the execution to false and only do it once. So let's see it in action. In Unity, I'll drag the script to our spawner object and set the enemy to the enemy that I want to be spawned. As you can see, once the game starts, it waits 4 seconds before spawning the enemy. Now, if instead you want to trigger the function at a regular interval and spawn an enemy every 2 seconds, for example, then you do not need the boolean nor the if condition and you just subtract the delay from the elapsed time like this. Back to Unity, if we change the delay to 2 seconds and if we hit play, you can see that an enemy spawned every 2 seconds. The second way of doing it is by using the invoke function. It works by passing in the name of the function that you want to call and the delay as a float. The only issue with using invoke is that you cannot call a function with parameters. If we go back to Unity and play the game, you can see that the enemy spawned after 4 seconds. You can also trigger a function at a regular interval by using InvokeRepeating. It works in the same way as invoke by indicating the name of the function, the delay before executing for the first time, and the new parameter, which is the repeat rate. If we hit play again, we can see that an enemy spawned every 2 seconds after the initial 4 seconds have passed. The third and last way is by using coroutines. With coroutines, it's possible to break the execution of a function into different steps by using yield statements, which allow you to pause the execution of a block of code until a certain condition is met. In order for a function to be started as a coroutine, it must be of type IEnumerator. In our case, in order to wait for a certain amount of time before doing something, we can use the waitForSeconds class like this. Then we just call the start coroutine function and pass our function call as a parameter. If you want it to be executed only once, then you can leave it like this. Otherwise, if you want it to be executed at a regular interval, just wrap the code inside the method with the while true loop. The main issue with coroutines is that they generate some garbage, but overall they are very efficient in many different scenarios. Back to Unity, using the spawner by coroutine script, you can see that the enemy spawned every 2 seconds. Now in conclusion, there is not really a best overall way of delaying a function in my opinion. It just depends on your case and what you're trying to do. For example, in this case where we have a spawner, my favorite way of doing it is by using InvokeRepeating, as it is easier and cleaner to set an initial time before spawning and a spawn rate. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions. Please like and subscribe if the video was useful to you.